Jean-Pierre. Salut, Jean-Pierre. So all of us are involved. And what has happened in this, what I consider a really wonderful and amazing story of the Congo, is because we are all involved. This is not a story of a few people. This is a story of a collective effort. And those of you who are on this call are all part of this story. And if your picture doesn't appear on the screen, please forgive me, because we tried to keep a limited number of slides. But you are part of this story in some way, and you have given the strength and the support and the involvement. Lawrence Fryer, I'm particularly calling out my brother who's written so many grants for BMZ, Mariam, who has supported us all this time, every one of you, Subud Quebec, and SD Canada, and all of our Susila Dharma nationals are part of this story. So without further ado, I'm going to just invite Diantessa, because this is really a story that is the story of the DRC. We are going to tell the story from your perspective first, and then each one is going to contribute a little bit to that story from their perspective, because we can't do this work alone. So let me just quickly share my screen. So part one, Diantessa. Oops. Why does this stop? Oh. Diantessa, please start.
Bien. Je salue tout le monde, frères et sœurs. Et c'était un plaisir pour moi de partager, de parler un peu de l'histoire de Subud et de Susila Dharma au Congo. Donc, je suis Diantessa Salomon. Actuellement, je suis le coordonnateur de l'ONG Susila Dharma Congo, mais j'ai été aussi président de Subud Congo, juste à l'inauguration du centre de Kinato. À ce titre, je peux parler succinctement de l'historique de ces deux institutions. Subud Congo, on peut dire, a commencé avec l'ouverture de deux frères. Il y avait le frère Mata en 1969, qui avait lu l'ouvrage de Bennett sur Subud, l'ouvrage qui a fait tabac en Occident d'ailleurs. Et après avoir lu cet ouvrage, quand ils étaient à Bruxelles, ils ont cherché à se faire ouvrir et ils ont été ouverts à Paris en 1969. Et de retour au pays, ils ont sollicité les conseillers Kejuan d'alors de Belgique, Louis et Roselyne Hausmann, pour venir ouvrir des frères ici. Et je sais à travers d'autres publications de Subud que Bapak était personnellement intervenu pour convaincre et pousser le couple Louis et Roselyne à faire le voyage du Congo. C'est ainsi qu'en 1970, 132 personnes ont été ouvertes à Kinshasa, parmi lesquelles 29 femmes, dont des religieuses. Mais le couple a fait 2 semaines. Après leur retour en Belgique, il y avait une certaine léthargie parce qu'il n'y avait pas encore une structure assez solide pour encadrer les membres et même les aides assez expérimentées. Entre-temps, le frère Mata a quand même fait un effort pour avoir un petit noyau autour de lui. Et ce qui fait qu'en 1976, ils vont désigner un premier président pour Subud Congo. C'est le frère Médard Lema, qui est pour le moment en France. Il y avait le frère Médard Lema, il y avait le frère Loutete Melidina, il y avait le frère Mazebo. Et c'est en 1979 que le frère Bouvemba Vangu, non, en 1983, que le frère Bouvemba Vangu va devenir président de Souboud Congo, désigné par les aides nationaux. Et c'est en ce moment-là que moi, je joins le comité national. Je venais d'être ouvert il y a quelque temps et j'étais secrétaire au niveau du comité national. Alors, pour Souboud Congo, ceux qui se sont succédés après Louvemba, il y a le frère Kanga Ambroise, que vous connaissez, qui a été représentant des zones 5 et 6. Et après Kanga, j'étais devenu président aussi de Souboud Congo en 1997. Et puis après moi, il y avait Jacques Lemba, suivi de frère Pokoti Cyprien, Albert Bilwambanzila, et actuellement, il y a Nzolani Bernard qui est le président. Et ce qu'il faut noter que quand nous sommes arrivés au niveau de Souboud, en ce moment-là, on n'avait pas encore tenu de congrès. Donc les désignations des responsables étaient aussi un peu aléatoires. C'était la part vraiment essentiellement des aides. Et ce qu'il faut noter aussi, que pour les aides qui ont travaillé dans Souboud Congo, il y avait le frère Mata, Pumbusita, tous déjà décédés, Roi Gassore.
Uh-oh.
I think we lost the Antesa.
I think we lost the Antesa. This is a hazard of working in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
In case he puts his video off, maybe it's easier then.
Maybe it is, or maybe they have no internet. Let's see. But this is a beautiful picture of a young Diantesa when he joined Subud in 1983. Very handsome young fellow. He must have been very young at the time. And this is important. Please remember to speak slowly. So let us see, where is Diantesa?
On the picture.
Mira. ¿Qué cree? Se dice que hay un tesoro al final del arco iris.
I don't want to cut into his time.
Oui,
Oui.
Interrompu. Je prends une autre machine. Je suis en train d'ouvrir, de reconnecter.
Okay, s'il te plaît, Diantesa.
Ça, c'est coupé.
Okay, thank you. So I will tell you a little anecdote while we're waiting. I will tell you an anecdote while we're waiting about learning patience in the Congo. When I would work with the Antesa by phone, we work very closely together. Every week we speak to each other. At the beginning, he would be very late, or he would say, we were not able to do this because in French, il y a eu une forte pluie. There was a very heavy rain. And I said, but how is that possible that a heavy rain interrupt? I mean, here we have heavy rain. We have heavy rain and everyone keeps working and everything keeps going. How can it be that everything stopped because of a forte pluie, a heavy rain? One day, I'm in Kinshasa in the hotel. We were supposed to have a meeting in about 2 hours, and it's raining very, very heavily. And the street starts to fill up with water so that it is now become a river. There is no drainage. And I say, my God, they're never going to make it to the meeting because of this rain. And after about 2 hours, the road is a river. I see a little boat coming down the river. That used to be the street. And then another boat and another boat. So our meeting was delayed by about 3 hours. They did make it. They made it by boat, not by car. But just to say, it's a different reality from what many of you know this from working with us on this project. So, Diantessa, tu es là? Tu reprends?
Oui, je reprends. C'est avec la machine qui pose problème pour la caméra.
Vas-y, on
Oui,
comprend. On te comprend.
oui, donc c'est dans ces conditions-là. Et il faut dire que c'est après la tenue de congrès que finalement les comités ont été désignés, élus vraiment par le membre. Alors, il y a des moments importants pour Subud Congo, c'est la participation au niveau des congrès mondiaux. Donc là, c'est un peu la carte d'aide. Quand j'ai joint Subud en 1983, c'était au mois de mars. Et en principe, juste après, j'avais déjà rejoint aussi le comité national.
Et comment
Alors,
tu as
donc,
connu Subud, Diantessa? À travers qui?
ben, j'ai connu Subud à travers, c'était un frère Martin Malouza. Il est resté longtemps en Suisse où il est décédé l'année passée. C'est Martin Malouza qui nous a parlé de Subud parce qu'en réalité, c'est dans des moments de turbulence. Hein. Moi, j'étais à l'université de Kinshasa, à la faculté de médecine. Et après 2 ans, j'avais eu des difficultés pendant cette période de pérégrination. On se retrouvait avec monsieur Martin Malouza, avec un ami qui est professeur actuellement à l'université de Kinshasa aussi. Martin Malouza, je peux dire que j'étais un peu chercheur. Hein? On cherche un peu à savoir le monde, comment, la vérité, tout ça. Et à travers Martin Malouza, il nous a amenés chez le frère Rwagasore, qui était conseiller Kéjoua. Il nous a présenté et on a commencé à parler de Subud. C'est que je dois dire que au départ, je trouvais un peu, avec les explications, Subud un peu euh, euh, comment simple par rapport à d'autres organisations qu'on voulait suivre. Mais par après, je me suis rendu compte de la profondeur et de la pertinence. Et ce qui fait que très rapidement, quand j'ai joint Subud, on était très, très régulier, qu'au niveau du Dewan des aides, ils avaient décelé directement que je pouvais déjà à ce moment-là servir au niveau du comité national, au niveau du comité national. Parce qu'il faut dire aussi, je vous ai dit que avant que Subud Congo ne commence avec les congrès, la désignation des comités était un peu aléatoire, les aides désignées. Et à un certain moment, nous nous sommes entrés dans une période où les aides avaient quelques difficultés avec le comité en place. Et c'est ainsi que le frère Louvet m'est entré. Mais juste quand on a travaillé à l'apaisement, à l'harmonisation. Et oui, finalement, les congrès ont commencé à se tenir. Et avant de parler de Mouktar, je voulais juste dire que le premier congrès, quand il s'est tenu, pas en 89, nous signalons la part active jouée par Richard Milles de France. Richard Milles qui venait assez régulièrement, il a fait, je crois, 3 tours au Congo. C'est lui vraiment qui a aidé à tenir le premier congrès et il a soutenu nos aides, hein, comment tenir, comment il faut se comporter pendant le congrès. C'était vraiment une expérience enrichissante. Et depuis lors, Subud a évolué et a bien progressé. Donc, le rôle de Millet, c'était vraiment à signaler. Et on a évolué avec avec toute l'évolution. Subud a pris part au congrès constitutif de Subud International qui avait eu lieu en Australie, oui, en Australie. À l'époque, c'était le frère Louvemba et les Rida, tout le monde était là. Et après, il y a eu d'autres, on a participé à travers Rwagasore et Nkanga aussi au congrès d'Amanasser. Et c'est à Amanasser que les gens ont eu l'inspiration pour Kingantogo. Et quand on était au congrès de Spokane avec Charles et les autres frères.
Claro que como están hablando del Congo, dijeron que...
Felicidad, ¿puedes mutarte? Muteante ça.
Oui, oui, donc pour le financement et le congrès des Spokane va eu lieu en 97, je crois, 97. En 98 déjà, l'équipe était là pour voir et Mouktar avait fait le plan pour la réalisation. Là, nous voyons le frère Mavela et Malalou. En fait, Mouktar avait ramené de l'Indonésie une pierre quartz qu'il avait retirée de la tombe de Bakhtiar, pardon, de Bapak, avec l'autorisation de la famille. Et c'est cette pierre de quartz qu'il a implantée là où on a construit l'actuel centre Soubou de Kiganto. Donc, c'est un peu ça. Donc là, ce sont les premières constructions financées par la BMZ. Je suis là, il y a le frère Kinsuga. Alors ici, c'est parmi les congrès, on a les congrès qu'on tenait d'abord à Yaouma, c'est parmi nos premiers congrès. Hein. On voit le frère Pokoti qui était l'organisateur. Angélique, en ce moment-là, était déjà aide internationale. Et puis moi-même, comme président du comité national, on avait organisé ce congrès-là. Et puis, lors du congrès, il y avait le conseiller Kejuan Mwinda, qui est intervenu aussi assez longtemps. Il y a la sœur Yvette, qui s'occupait de la jeunesse, et le frère Charles Lusanda, qui a été longtemps aussi président de Susila Dharma, Congo, et que beaucoup de frères et sœurs connaissent bien. Alors, ce qu'il faut dire, bon, ici, c'est pendant le congrès, nous avons la sœur José qui était du groupe Matete. À côté de lui, on a le frère Roberto Betti. Il était aide au Congo-Brazza. Et puis, il y a le frère Mukendi Lwadia avec Rwagasore. Je signale que Mukendi Lwadia, c'était pratiquement le deuxième président de Susila Dharma Congo. Parce que pour Susila Dharma Congo, il faut le passage de Philibert, peut-être qu'on pourra y revenir après, avait joué quand même un rôle important. Donc là, ce sont des congrès qu'on tenait. Il faut dire aussi que nos congrès, on les a tenus alternativement. Hein. Il y a eu un moment où on tenait à Kinshasa, et puis quelques temps après, on a tenu, je crois, 3 congrès à Kisantu. Donc chaque fois, on faisait le déplacement, parce qu'à Kisantu, à Inkisi, il y avait aussi un groupe assez dynamique qu'il fallait aller soutenir. Et on avait juste raté un congrès à Moine. Alors, donc ça, c'est... Oui, oui. Là, c'est... Je suis avec le feu Kiti Kimengi, qui est l'initiateur de l'école Nkembo à Mwanda, qui a été à Spokane. Et, oui, il a été à Spokane. Là, et c'était revenant de Spokane. Il venait juste partager toute l'expérience qu'ils avaient. C'était sur un congrès, au cours d'un congrès à Kassavou, toujours. Et puis, on peut... Oui, oui. Ben là, nous passons, c'est le deuxième conseil bizonal. À ce moment-là, on avait les 2 zones ensemble, 5 et 6. Le deuxième conseil bizonal s'est tenu au centre d'accueil Kimangis en février, effectivement, 2005. Mais il faut dire qu'avant ça, il y avait notre congrès, mais ça, c'était tenu en Afrique du Sud, où les frères et sœurs aussi de la RDC avaient participé. En l'occurrence, Nkanga, Jacques Lemba, Angélique et Rida, entre autres. Donc là, c'est au centre d'accueil Kibangis, c'est une photo de famille où on reconnaît les frères. Il y a le frère Mendes qui est là, qui est décédé tout récemment, qui est au milieu à côté de Zola. Nous avons le frère Diabanza, qui était en Colombie, vraiment qui est aux États-Unis, on le voit aussi là-bas. Et puis il y a d'autres frères Nossa. Il y a Arnaud, on voit, et peut-être le frère, je vois que c'est doit être Salomon derrière. Je crois que c'est Salomon. Ça, c'était au conseil bizonal. Alors, ce conseil bizonal avait quand même joué un rôle assez important parce que ça a donné un autre déclic à l'association Soumoud et Susila Dharma. Nous pouvons même considérer que c'est vraiment au moment de ce conseil de zone que Susila Dharma a été vraiment constitué comme une ONG légale avec les arrêtés de reconnaissance au niveau du ministère de la Justice. Et là, la fête était vraiment tellement grande que les gens ont dansé à Kingantogo avec la musique de Maître Makapé, Makapé que d'aucuns connaissent. Et nous étions vraiment très honorés parce que au cours de ces conseils de zone, la présence, la participation de la sœur Rachmania a un peu, oui, au début de ce cours ici, elle a joué un rôle important. Elle a drainé, elle a donné le sens et vraiment, oui, un peu, je peux dire la croyance, mais vraiment la force pour que beaucoup de gens demeurent en Soudan. Et le fait qu'elle soit venue à son âge, on la savait un peu fatiguée, et qu'elle ait exhibé des pas de danse, ça avait vraiment réconforté beaucoup de nos frères. Et il y avait vraiment une éclosion, même au niveau de la jeunesse, hein, au niveau de la jeunesse, il y avait vraiment une éclosion au cours de ce conseil bisonal. Donc là, oui, c'est toujours à Kingantogo. Nous voyons la forte délégation du Nigeria qui était là. Et là, c'était le cercle au rythme de musique de Maître Makapé. Donc là, c'est la maison qu'on avait vue qui était inaugurée. Là, c'est la danse. Ah, ici, nous avons la sœur Régine. Alors là, il faut dire aussi qu'avec cette autorisation officielle, il y a une éclosion. Nous avons par exemple le frère Zola qui a fait des études d'infirmière, qui prend l'initiative aussi de créer, de monter un centre de santé et il va bénéficier de l'appui de Susila Dharma parce que la parcelle était acquise au nom de Susila Dharma. Et là, nous remercions la sœur Charlotte qui était aussi présidente de Susila Dharma. Elle a pris soin d'assurer quand même des infrastructures pour que les frères puissent évoluer. De même que ça a été fait pour le frère Diakabana pour la polyclinique Nandora aussi. Donc, alors, en ce moment-là, c'est les initiatives de frères. On voit aussi au niveau des écoles, parce que par rapport aux écoles, il y avait l'Embaïmbu, et non, il y avait d'abord Inkisi, mais surtout aussi à Mwanda, avec l'expérience de frère Kiti, qui était ingénieur dans une société pétrolière et qui avait quitté et qui a créé une école qui a suscité aussi beaucoup d'engouement. On se souvient que Lina Berger avait beaucoup appuyé Kembo, on parlait de Kembo School Project, et ça avait beaucoup évolué. Et ici, je dois partager une confidence parce que j'ai eu à voir le frère Kitty, parce que le projet s'était arrêté, il faut le dire. J'ai eu à voir le frère Kitty à l'occasion d'une de mes visites à Mwanda, et il m'avait fait la confidence, il dit, mon frère, si c'était à refaire, je n'allais pas refaire. Le frère Léonard Berger nous aime beaucoup. Il voulait vraiment que le projet soit durable et que ça puisse continuer. Seulement, il m'avait demandé qu'on puisse transformer, que l'école fonctionne vraiment comme une ASBL, comme une association à but non lucratif. J'avais hésité, j'avais presque refusé, croyant sauvegarder certains intérêts. Mais au moment où nous parlons, frère, je regrette amèrement cette décision. Si c'était à refaire, je devais accepter pour la durabilité. Je devais accepter cela. Donc, ça, c'est une confidence qu'il m'avait faite, mais il avait déjà refusé. Bon, il y a eu l'école Limbo aussi qui était créée, et puis Albadi. La particularité, ce sont des initiatives des frères qui ont bénéficié de l'appui de Susila Dharma. Alors ici, c'est le troisième conseil. Alors ici, c'est le conseil des zones. Ce n'est plus bisonal parce qu'en ce moment-là, on a déjà séparé la zone 5 et 6. Là, c'est la zone 5, c'était au centre Bondego. C'était aussi un conseil bien réussi parce que vraiment, les frères de l'Afrique lusophone et francophone étaient bien représentés et il y a eu des belles résolutions. Et je crois que c'est au cours de ce conseil qu'on a pu amener quand même les membres des différentes horizons de l'Afrique qui étaient venus, aller voir un peu, partager l'expérience de Susila Dharma avec eux. Qu'est-ce qui se fait ici au Congo comme Susila Dharma? On en a parlé, mais quand on a visité, et le clou avait été l'inauguration du centre hospitalier de Kwilu Ngongo. qui est mise en œuvre, qui a été mise en œuvre avec le partenariat de Susila Dharma Allemagne et avec l'appui des fonds publics allemands. Et c'est ici, Victor y reviendra, mais c'est ici de souligner qu'en ce moment-là, Susila Dharma atteint un autre niveau. Parce que nous avons au départ fonctionné avec des dons des membres sous bout. Hein, on peut donner 1500 par-ci, par-là. Et on a évolué d'abord quand il y a eu pour l'Embaïmbou, la fondation Baken qui est intervenue avec le projet de CESCOM. C'était déjà une autre dimension dans les financements. On était dans les millions déjà. Et avec Susila Dharma, là, on a accédé directement au fonds public. Donc, c'est le gouvernement qui intervient. Ça a donné une autre dimension à Susila Dharma, même sur le plan local et national, au niveau du gouvernement provincial, par exemple du Congo central. Quand vous parlez de Susila Dharma, on vous traite avec respect, Et sans anticiper aussi, donc là, c'est toujours au conseil, et cela a permis d'aller avec d'autres fonds publics aussi gouvernementaux. C'est le gouvernement canadien avec CAC qui donne une autre dimension. Et là, je crois que c'est Virginia qui va intervenir pour en parler un peu plus. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Diantesa. Merci beaucoup, beaucoup. Thank you so much. So I'm going to tell a little bit about the SDIA story. This is the Subud Susila Dharma Congo story up until now. And I will just say that, like many stories, it starts with an original difficulty or challenge, not to say mistake. But when I first visited the DRC with Eloise, Jorge Guerin, Garrett, and Latif Dadabashwa in 2009, our sister Charlotte, who ran the school at Lemba Imbu, took me to visit a building that had been purchased with some funds that was to create an infirmary, a nursing center for the school. However, when she showed it to me, it was rented out as families were living in this building in these tiny apartments. And I realized that we had a problem on our hands, which was that in the development of Susila Dharma, we had been very willing to support ideas, but not very closely, sometimes following the realization of the initiatives. So here was a property that had been bought with money from Susila Dharma. It had been registered in the name of the individuals, Charlotte and Santu. And we felt that it was absolutely urgent that we solve this problem, that we correct a mistake that had been made. At the time, the country was in a very bad situation. I think I refer you all to Google Le Grand Pillage, the Great Pillage, the history, read a bit about the history of the Congo, because it's the only way you can understand what is the history and how the country has become the way it is. So just to say that we decided, Samuel Chaplot was my partner in crime at that time, that we needed to find a solution, how to get the building out of private ownership and how to show a model of a not-for-profit that could really function for the community with community involvement at a very low cost. And we found a wonderful partner called Médecins d'Afrique who had given this some thought. And we signed an MOU with them to teach us how to convert this center into a not-for-profit health center. As Diantesa was saying earlier, the not-for-profit model did not exist in the Congo at the time, because almost every foundation or every NGO was really a family business. So we had to show that we could do something differently. And this model included working with the local health authorities to get them to staff a center that we would rebuild, that we would equip, and that would be run with a community council involved. And that was the first step. And when we started working on this little miracle of correcting a very serious mistake, we were joined by a wonderful family. Gilles Marceau is here. He was our first contact with the Buchan family. We wrote about this project that we were doing to run a not-for-profit health center in the community at Lemba Imbu. And Tina Buchan became our main benefactress to allow us to develop this model. And we went on to not only do the health center at Lemba Imbu, which was the pilot, we did also the health center at Nkandu in Kisantu, and finally 6 health and hospital centers in all, including the 2 that were already existing in Kinshasa that were from before. And this is really when we had really perfected this model. We shared it with Susila Dharma Germany, which had its very good connections with the German government. So everything, and I think the success of this has very much to do with Dian Tessa becoming the chairman of Susila Dharma Congo. As he mentioned in passing, he had a background in health. He had a background as a microbiologist running a large lab in Kinshasa. He had some of his medical studies, and he really understood the health system. So when we see how these projects evolve in a good way, we know it's because the people with the skills and the ideas are there on the team. And that attracts all kinds of support from you all. So from health, we had then expanded to different areas. So we had, from health, we've done water and sanitation. We've done low-cost construction capacity because we needed it, because we needed to build infrastructure to accommodate these centers. We have done teacher training. We have done classroom construction. We realized through all these different initiatives that involve different skills and capacities from the community that actually in our health centers, what we were seeing was extremely young girls of 13, 14, 15 years old who were having their first babies, whose education was finished, and who did not have skills to support a family. And from there, we developed what we have now called the Community Learning Center model. I have to say that my brother Gilles Marceau helped us immensely to think through what this model should look like. So Gilles, thank you so much for all of your help through the years. And this is just a picture of another brother, Paul. I don't know if you're on the call, but get a copy of this impressive presentation? Yes, you can get a recording. Paul and another member of our group, Miguel Bocanegra, helped us to design an interlocking brick that could be produced at very low cost. And this is a brickworks that was created at the same place at Kingantoko. And behind, in this building that is still under construction, this is a new community learning center right next to the building, the Subud house that was constructed at Kingantoko. So Paul has been a consistent contributor, builder, advisor on all things to do with construction and every other thing. So I hope Paul is on the call. By 2022, this is our amazing SD Congo team that has gender capacity, Mami Butundu. We have 2 young environmentalists who have joined the team. We have, of course, Victorine Mpambu, who's the community animation specialist, Papi Kabondo, who's in charge of communications, the Armand, who's the driver, Diantessa, who pulls everything together beautifully as Susila Dharma Congo coordinator, and Bernard Nzolani, who's the chair of Subud DRC. Just a last little story for you from my part. The community learning centers are particularly close to my heart after having seen so many women. Among them are Subud sisters, and I can tell you stories of the hardship that some of them have experienced being married extremely young. They can tell you those stories themselves, what they had to give up in order to become mothers very young, not having their education. So one of the main things that is taught in our centers is literacy, numeracy skills, as well as different trades and entrepreneurship, so that the women have a chance to overcome their educational deficit and make new skills and develop their own businesses. We chose to do this after much difficulty in the center of Kinshasa, where there was already an existing Subud property. It was very small. It was basically this part down here. And we were able to build classrooms and the offices of SD Congo within the Subud space. Each of our centers has a beautiful library with books donated from the Quebec Foundation of Parliamentarians. We were able to bring, with the help of the Buchan International Fund, 40,000 books. Each of our centers has a computer lab that is open to both women and men, because the men really want to learn the computer skills. And we have our office in each of our centers. So there are 3 centers, and they each look pretty much similar. This is a photo from a recent visit by the monitor from Canada. His name is Henri de Latour. Came to visit and wanted really to speak with the women. They don't want to speak with us so much as the organizers, but they want to hear the stories of the learners. They want to hear, why are they there? What is the relevance of the center to them? And each and every time they come, they seem to leave extremely satisfied and impressed. So this is some of the infrastructure at Ngiri, and this was a recent visit by the international helpers to for a zonal gathering in September of last year. I want to pass it over now to Victor and Hilma to tell the SD Germany story, because this is also a story for SD Germany, and say that we are so glad that from the efforts, early efforts in health, that we were able to convince SD Germany to walk down this path with us with a good model. So please take it away, Victor and Hilma.
Thank you very much. I should start a little bit from the past. I get the connection with Subud Congo 2002. I went as international helper with Elsa Vuga to Kinshasa and also to Kinantoko. And at that time, there was a congress in the Subud house in Kinantoko. And Diantessa was still the chairperson of this, of Subud Congo. And then later on, he changed to Susila Dharma. And 2 years later, we went again there, and you saw the photos. The third visit to Congo was a bizonal meeting, the famous one, where we had a lot of people from the whole Africa, Subud Africa, and had discussed many things before the World Congress in Innsbruck. And that's now a spring jump a little bit. this Virginia told about the 6 clinics, and we were involved since Puebla 2014. The World Congress discussed this with Diatesa, with SDIA, and 1 year later in Great Malvern at SDIA AGM, we get everything nailed down and made with BMZ or make a proposal, and with Lawrence and many others. And finally, and of course with support of the Bakken Foundation, they paid, I can tell you, 23% of this. At that time, we get only 75% support from the government. And we were very lucky that end of 2015, we get the contract and started in Kwilu Ngongo, and January 2016, and since 6 years we're working on this, and now together more than 8 years working together. And this is a jump a little bit, inauguration in during the Zonal 6 meeting, and on the 25th of September 2017, there we have the Mother and Child Clinic, and also the Minister of Matadi came, and a lot of people were involved, and we had a small staff there, and they started immediately with the clinic itself, and 2 or 3 days later, the first child was born, and the lady called the child Victor CSCOM.
Victor CSCOM was the name of the baby, the first baby born.
Yes, and now he's 7 years old, yes. And very important is the man on the left side. He supported us, and also Dr. Michel, the zonal health chair in Kwilu Ngongo, and they found also the Dr. Tutuma. And in the meantime, we have 40 staff members there, and it's starting from only the Mother and Child Clinic up to pediatry and surgery, and even a morgue and a laboratory X-ray device. And this was built in 6 years, very successful. And Hilma and myself visited last year, and they are saying it's sustainable, it's working very well, it's a reference clinic. Now again, a jump to the third phase we had with this 4 CSCOM. This one is in CEDERI-Madimba, near to Nkisi and Kisantu. And we had the inauguration of this last autumn, this pediatry. And also Brother Ferdinand was there at that time. He was so eager that this happens, and he was present, and finally 3 months later he passed away, but nevertheless he thought that this was opened, and they are working there and have a lot of children dealing with the children. And one picture further, you see the dancing children there. They are very happy. In the background, pediatry. And so 1 day later, we had the other inauguration in Nikando, which we saw before. This is Nikando. Is in the meantime a lot of activities going on. You heard about the CSCs on the left side behind, and on the left side direct is a CSCOM. And they have now started this. They have got capacity building, of course, a lot of equipment for medicine, and Hilma always procures ultrasound devices from Germany, used one, and so every clinic has now ultrasound, and Kwilu Ngongo even an X-ray device. This is again in Nikando 3 with Diantesa there, and after the opening, we are just looking from the CSC building up to the new pediatry. And finally, we have the biggest one, the one in Lemba Imbo. which you saw the photo before. Miss Virginia explained this house, and this is not far away from there. And there's a CSCOM now on the right side. We cannot see it, and there's now a connection. And this is just a beginning of February this year. And it will be, the inauguration will be soon, maybe next month. And Antesa and his team has all the medical equipments, and we have to work there still up to August this year, and then it's finished. And the last one is in Kinantoko. We had proposed to drill water through in the hill, and they have 3 drillings. This is the 3rd one near the CSCOM, and they were not so successful. The water is not so good. And then they drilled 30 meters more down, and they found water. But there is something happening that neighbors do not want that we have water there, and there are ghosts and jinns, and they are saying we have to get a priest to pray that everything could be done in a good way. And I just got today from Papi photos from the well and the tube, and they could continue. And please pray that I write there down without success. Hopefully the success will come very soon. And so that's the story of the last project. And now I hand over to Hilma. We started during the Zonal 6 meeting 2017, went to Mr. Augustin Konder and for ANAMED International. Please, it's in Kinshasa, not far away where we had the meetings in Zonal 6 meeting.
Okay.
Hilma is doctor, helps
Hello.
always for the clinics.
Yeah,
Okay.
I heard from a member of Susila Dharma about medical plants in Congo, which was initiated by the founder of ANAMED, Dr. Hirt, a German pharmacologist. On my first visit to Congo, I searched in the internet for ANAMED in Kinshasa and found the address of a scientist, August Konder. And we visited him in Kinshasa with a small group you see here on the picture, and then found out about his work. Mr. Dr.
Martin Hirt.
No. We had a presentation on ANAMED and the medical plants in Congo by Dr. Madrid, who brought along photos and also books. And I bought a receipt book in French as a gift for Victorine at this time. And when I handed to her, she was amazed, and she wanted to cultivate also medical plants in Congo. And this was the beginning of our collaboration with medical plants. And she organized a seminar, organized Seminar Venue, and more than 20 interested people. And we were able to gradually set up a complete training unit with 3 residential courses from 1 week, and a supervision 1 year after completion of these fields. And the interest of the people were very, very high, and they were they brought it to other interest people, so that we had to organize a second course. and it's now the third course we can present in July this year. Yes, it's so that we had to speak to the medical authorities of the region where these fields are in work, and Victor and I went to the authorities, who were very open and interested, and so that we were allowed to start distribution also of the products in the clinics. And they assured us that the quality of the products is checked by the authorities. It's I think we are happy and lucky to that we can present it to the clinics. Yes. And we have already signed, although Susila Dharma Congo has already signed a contract with one with Per Njela, Victorine's brother, who has the largest field, that he donates 25% of the profit to Susila Dharma Congo for all their needs, and we want to do the same also with the other team in Kwilu Ngongo. And yes, here you see the field of Pierre, the very, very great 50 hectares or so. He works together with a team of trained persons in this great field there. I think it's all.
Thank you so much, Hilda. Thank you so much, Victor.
One short remark was Hilma just says that the zonal head zonal doctor, they are very open for this product, and what's important is that the quality must be quality controlled and has always the same quality from one unit to the next one, and for the Artemisia tea and so on. It's very, very important. And one remark also from the film, from the Heinz Cadera made a film 2021, 22 minutes long, about all the 6 clinics, and not the CRC, but the clinics, and it's very good. It was for Tina Buchan's birthday prepared, and if you want to see it, please look, and Isidro can send it to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Isidro, for sharing the link to the film. I'd like to hand it back now to Diantesa to tell us a little bit about the future. What we've done so many things. We've built so many health centers. We've built community learning centers. Diantesa, please share with us your what's next. What do we have to do to consolidate all of this and to move forward? Arnaud says you should know that in the DRC, more than 80% of medicines that are sold are counterfeited. So that's why it's good to have alternatives. Thank you, Arnaud. Diantessa, are you there?
Yeah, yes. Oui, bon, disons pour les prochains pas, nous consolidons les acquis, mais ce que je peux dire déjà pour... oui, juste avant qu'il a... non, 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 ok, ça va.
Tu veux que je recule en arrière?
Non, 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 je voulais parler pour Héloïse Jackson. Je vois qu'elle n'est plus là. Juste une petite anecdote, mais vers la fin. Alors, nous avons, par exemple, pour le Community Learning Centers, nous avons l'opportunité de renforcer, d'établir une connexion avec les organisations locales qui appuient. Parce que nous avons ici l'Agence nationale de développement de l'entrepreneuriat, particulièrement des femmes. On a fait une exposition et l'exposition a montré qu'avec un peu de moyens, nous sommes en mesure de transformer, de faire de ces CAC des unités de production qui peuvent leur permettre d'avoir un peu plus de moyens pour les soutenir. Parce qu'il faut noter que le projet est d'une durée de 5 ans, il nous reste 3 ans pour être en train de consommer, mais il faut prévoir l'avenir, le futur, à la fin des subventions, comment ça va être. Nous pensons qu'avec la petite expérience de production réalisée par les apprenantes, accompagnées par leurs éducatrices, a montré qu'il est possible déjà de dégager des moyens et pour les apprenantes et pour le CAC. Et là, on va ancrer vraiment avec l'ANADEC qui est aussi partie prenante. Et il y a encore l'opportunité pour nous actuellement, c'est l'engagement oui, du gouvernement à travers le ministère des Affaires sociales, parce que l'expérience que nous sommes... Le gouvernement a aussi des centres sociaux à gauche et à droite. Le programme qui est en train d'être dispensé a été élaboré avec les affaires sociales. Mais ils se sont rendus compte que le modèle que nous avons, on a fait un peu plus, qui sont maintenant en train d'inviter les responsables de leur centre de venir voir ce qui se fait dans nos centres pour essayer de dupliquer. Et je vois que nous avons la grâce, je peux dire aussi, avec la visite de l'autorité consulaire, dont l'ambassadrice du Canada, le fait d'être venu, d'avoir vu les réalités, et même le ministre du Développement international du Canada qui a vu les réalités, et avec les perspectives, tout ce qu'il y a eu, je crois qu'il y a possibilité au niveau des CAC qu'on puisse en faire des centres d'excellence et même pour la production et oui, d'encadrement de ces apprenants qui auront terminé. Alors, par rapport du côté de la santé aussi, il s'agit pour nous de vraiment de consolider et de renforcer. Parce que vous vous rendez compte qu'à l'inauguration, vous avez vu à Kwilu Ngongo, c'était centre de santé communautaire. C'est vraiment actuellement ces centres hospitaliers. Ces centres hospitaliers et actuellement avec tous les équipements qui ont été mis là-bas grâce à l'appui de SD Germany et disons, le financement de la BMZ. Donc, pratiquement, nous sommes en phase de faire qu'au niveau de la zone de santé, c'est cet hôpital qui va être l'hôpital général de référence parce qu'il réunit l'essentiel de services. Maintenant, plus que jamais. Maintenant, plus que jamais. Et pour les autres aspects, je dis qu'il est aussi possible, en dehors du fait qu'on intervient directement à travers les structures au niveau des communautés, d'intervenir aussi par rapport aux membres qui ont des initiatives en faveur de communautés. Mais constituer vraiment un ASBL fonctionnel, c'est possible de faire quelque chose sans faire l'éloge. Je prends l'exemple de frère Bissalou de CEDERI-Madimba. Il est décédé, mais il n'y a pas eu vraiment de turbulences au niveau de la famille parce que au niveau de sa famille, au niveau de ses enfants, ils avaient compris que là, c'est une organisation qui appartient à la communauté, qui doit fonctionner comme ASBL, même s'ils vont participer comme administrateurs, mais vraiment, ça fonctionne comme ASBL. Il est décédé, mais les activités continuent. Les activités continuent. Donc, je vois que nous, l'important maintenant, c'est de renforcer un peu l'ancrage local pour une durabilité. Et que si de temps en temps, il y a des appuis extérieurs, ce sera toujours bien. Et là, j'en profite aussi pour remercier Dr Ilma, la sœur Ilma, qui continue malgré tout à glaner par-ci par-là des équipements pour nos centres de santé, pas seulement Kwilu Ngongo. Et nous avons Kandu, nous avons Kingantoko aussi. Donc ça, je peux dire, donc c'est vraiment d'étendre l'expérience de CAC qui provient effectivement de CSCOM, comme Virginia l'avait dit. C'est vraiment intéressant pour nous parce qu'au niveau des affaires sociales, ils se sont rendus compte qu'ils avaient tout, mais que nous leur avons donné l'opportunité de faire plus pour la communauté. Alors, pour la petite histoire, je crois que c'est pas toujours journalier. Je voudrais parler un peu avant de laisser la parole à l'autre. Je parle des temps des dieux. Je voulais juste faire une allusion par rapport au centre, au siège de Souboud, ici où nous sommes, avec le centre d'apprentissage communautaire. Je me souviens quand j'étais au congrès des Amériques à Vancouver, la sœur Héloïse, en ce moment, on était en train de construire la salle de Latian. Et pendant que j'étais là, les frères de Kinshasa m'ont envoyé le message que non, on va faire une plateforme au niveau du bâtiment de la salle de Latian pour construire un étage. Et la sœur Héloïse a dit, non, 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 frère, il faut faire attention. Il faut faire avec vos moyens. Nous voulons que vous puissiez avoir une salle disponible maintenant. Faites la toiture normale avec des tôles et des plafonds. Le jour où vous aurez les moyens, vous allez faire votre étage. Vous allez faire du béton et monter un étage. Et vraiment, je peux dire à la sœur Héloïse, ce jour est déjà arrivé. Ici où nous sommes, à Ngiringiri, la maison en étage est là, les bureaux sont là, les salles de Latian sont là. Donc ça, je dis quelque part, pour nous, c'est aussi le temps de Dieu. Nous sommes en train d'évoluer dans le monde du développement, mais quelque part, cette croyance, cette foi que nous avons que Dieu intervient toujours d'une manière ou d'une autre est renforcée. Je peux donner l'exemple du frère qui est assis à côté de moi, qui m'excuse. Excusez-moi de parler un peu de lui. Vous savez,
mets le caméra, Diantessa, s'il te plaît, pour qu'on
Oui,
voit
oui.
le frère à côté de toi.
Oui, mais c'est cette machine qui a un problème de caméra, malheureusement. C'est le
Ok.
frère Jean-Pierre. Vous l'aviez eu avant. Peut-être que vous allez. Oui, c'est le
Salut
frère
Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre. Oui, oui. Alors, quand nous étions au Bisona, au conseil des zones à Bondeko en 2017, le frère était vraiment en train de tout faire hein, pour assister. Et je me souviens, j'ai rappelé ça à la sœur Virginia. Virginia avait dit, ah, mais qui est ce frère-là? Non, c'est un frère du groupe Célébat où il a évolué avec papier. Elle a dit, ah, ce frère a beaucoup d'énergie, mais il faudra vraiment l'utiliser. Il a de l'énergie à revendre. Ça, c'était dit en 2017. Mais aujourd'hui, si vous venez ici au siège de Soumoud en Ngiringiri, c'est vraiment lui. Donc, ça s'est réalisé. On ne pensait pas que ça se réaliserait ici. Mais ici, vraiment, le frère est là, toute son énergie est ici. Quand vous venez en Ngiringiri ici, que ce soit au niveau du CAC, au niveau du siège de Souboud, au niveau du bureau de Susila Dharma, il est là toujours et plein à vous servir. Donc, c'est un peu ça que nous sommes en train d'évoluer, mais quelque part, nous avons toujours cette foi, nous sommes rassurés par, oui, cette confiance que nous avons par rapport à Dieu qui intervient toujours d'une manière ou d'une autre. Donc, c'est juste, je voulais faire un peu allusion à cela. On n'est pas que dans le développement, mais on tient compte de tous ces aspects.
Merci, Diantessa. So we would like to open it up now to questions, comments. I would like to throw out an invitation to our brothers and sisters in SD Germany that that perhaps we start planning now for a future collaboration around the community learning centers, just as we have partnered on the health centers, which is so important. We are really seeing a huge need and opportunity among women and girls for training and also to change mentalities about consumption. My sister Emilia, are you there?
I think we lost her because we're having power cuts here in Ecuador.
Okay, because our sister Emilia Garzon, who you know from Vivir, taught us a lot. She's there. Mariana Emilia, ¿puedes poner tu cámara un momentico, por favor? Can you put on your camera, Emilia? Maybe not. So I think what's really exciting, Emilia, you taught us so much about the importance of consumption.
Me
Tú nos
cambié
has
a...
enseñado mucho sobre la importancia de lo que consumimos. Emilia has taught our network a great deal about changing consumption patterns. And what we realize now in the DRC is that our work with is not just with the producers of wonderful products, but it's also working on consumption patterns, because 98% of what you can buy in a supermarket in the Congo is imported foods. This is an agricultural country where people cannot get their products, their healthy, homegrown products, to a market. So they don't produce and they don't sell. In all of the evolution of what we're seeing, it seems like we have an important job to do, just as Hilma is doing with the production of naturopathic medicines in the area of food production. There's a huge job to do to bring this production, to make it available to markets, and to show people that this food is healthier and better for them than buying a bottle of Coca-Cola, which is basically garbage in a bottle. Emilia.
Perdón, se me fue la luz en este país, se está yendo la luz y tuve que
Horrible.
cambiarme al teléfono, así es que recién pude volver a entrar.
Es solo que yo estoy diciendo que eres un modelo, tú nos has enseñado sobre la importancia de cambiar los patrones de consumo, qué compramos, qué consumimos. Y en el Congo es súper pertinente.
Sí,
Because
estamos
what
haciendo...
people cannot get the homegrown foods that are available.
Estamos haciendo una investigación formativa que se llama, junto con el Programa Mundial de Alimentos aquí en el país, para conocer justamente los hábitos, las costumbres de las personas y desde sus propios costumbres poder ver cómo podemos hacer un cambio de comportamiento. Yo creo que es bien importante conocer la cultura y también desde la neurociencia ver cómo podemos hacer un cambio de hábitos. Es súper interesante este tema, así es que yo encantada de oír todo lo que estoy oyendo y si en algún momento podemos aportar, excelente.
Muchas gracias, hermana. You have already given us so much knowledge from your experience. And that's the wonderful thing about Susila Dharma, is that we're all learning from each other. And there are things we're learning in one country that we can bring to another country because the problems are the same. So maybe we open it up to you, wonderful people who have been part of this story, to share any questions with Diantesa, with Victor, with Hilma. Rafael, who is so committed to this work. Any others that you have any questions or reflections?
Can I ask a question?
Of course. Thank you, Vincent.
I'm curious, as someone who hasn't managed to visit Congo yet, how many Subud members are active in Congo at this time? How many Subud groups are there?
Diantesa? C'est une question pour toi. Combien de groupes, combien de membres dans le pays?
Oui, bon, disons que pour le moment, au Congo, nous avons, parce qu'à Kinshasa, on peut considérer qu'il y a actuellement ces deux groupes. Mais originellement, on avait 5 groupes à Kinshasa. Mais le groupe qui fonctionne avec Salle de Latian, nous avons le groupe du siège ici, qu'on a appelé groupe Kasavubu, qui est en Ngiringiri. Et nous avons le groupe Njili, qui font le Latian dans la salle qui est louée, là où habite le conseiller qui est Joanne Séraphin Diakano. Alors, maintenant, par rapport au nombre de membres actifs, le nombre est fluctuant, mais si nous prenons pour Kinshasa, Matadi et Kisantu Inkisi, nous prenons autour de 50, de 50 qui sont vraiment là sur le net. Il y a des moments où vous avez un peu plus, les gens vont et viennent. C'est ça. Please, I don't... J'ai pas bien
50 members, yes? I couldn't hear very
50,
well.
I would say active members, yeah?
Active members.
Because there was a time when it was 300 members, but the difficulties of life, of transport, of getting to the group. And we have to say that in the Congo, many of the Subud members have died. I think that nowhere have I experienced mortality more than in the Congo. When a Subud sister, who's the KG1 counselor, is here one day, she lies down on her floor and is gone the next morning. We have lost young Subud members. We have lost older Subud members because death is incredibly present there. People are not taken care of. There is very, very limited. I mean, if you have money, you can access good medical care, but most people cannot. They die of things they never even knew they had. So
Exactly
that is
the
why
same
the work of
as Sierra
Susila
Leone.
Dharma Congo is so important in the health sector, because there is no system. Our sister Olga knows what that means in Sierra Leone.
Oh, people don't even know what they die of, just somebody suddenly dies, they're 45, 50, and they don't even know the diagnosis, what happened, or what did he have, or maybe a tumor, a cancer, some CV cardiovascular disease. 50 years old is the medium age of mortality or of life in Sierra Leone.
And it's very similar in the Congo. It's something
more
that
medical attention. That's right.
as a Canadian, we have no clue about this, because people, if they die, at least they know what they die of. But it's not the case in the Congo.
That's
So
right.
our Subud community, like the population at large, has been devastated by illness and things, health problems. It's tragic. In 2005, you see a beautiful photo of Rose with her baby and her brother. Neither of those Subud members are here today.
Dieudonné, they passed away very
Dieudonné,
early.
her brother, passed away. She passed away, leaving 3 orphans behind her.
Under 50 years.
I have a question, if I can answer. Apart from the solar panel installation that Eki did in the healthcare center, have they done other solar installations in the community learning centers? Or is there any plan to do that at some point?
Thank you, Olga, for asking that. Olga put us in touch with a wonderful Fundación Eki in Spain that allows us to get a solar panel installation and pay it off over time, which is amazing. We don't have to come up with $30,000 in order to start. Fundación Eki put in a solar system at Kingantoko in the hospital, and they put in a solar panel for the community learning center, because that location is completely off-grid. There is no electricity. Now, as we've seen with Diantesa and the team at the Subud House in Kinshasa, they are on the grid, but like what Emilia is experiencing, there are continuous blackouts. So it was recently said that we should have a solar panel system for Kinshasa, not because it's off grid, but because there's even when the grid isn't functioning. So that's important.
Olga,
Eki works in
Olga,
Kinshasa all the time. They go to
Olga,
Congo a lot.
a short
Yes, they're
remark.
wonderful.
Today, Papi went to Kinatoko to repair the batteries for the solar panels, or at least make look that they are working well. And therefore, he is not here, Papi, and he is working on the solar panels. That is, the maintenance is becoming good, and that we have always current there.
The important thing is that Eki is doing training now. They're focusing on training a lot in places where they go and put the installations. They also offer training to the young locals. We've put our 5th solar panel installation in Sierra Leone last year in 2023. The 3rd with Eki, because the 2 first ones, Eki was not there. Eki began in 2017, so they're relatively young. But they offer training, and that's very, very interesting for the locals.
That is actually, Olga, something we would like to teach at the Community Learning Center. We would like Eki to teach us how to teach the women to install and maintain solar panels, because access to energy is one of the main challenges that people face in their day-to-day, is having a light that can be on at night, is having any kind of access to energy to produce what they need to produce. So the Community Learning Center is a wonderful, adaptable space where these things could be taught. And there's experience from Barefoot University in India that women can be even illiterate women can be taught how to manipulate basic electricity, how to create and maintain these solar panels. So I think
Eki is probably willing to do that because they're focusing a lot on training now.
Training is so important in remote communities, right? Empowering people to have this as their business. Is there any other questions, comments? Linell, thank you for your comment. Yes, it's inspiring, but it's inspiring because we're all doing this together. Every one of us here has had a piece in this story. And it makes me really think, Raphael turned on her camera. Thank you, Raphael. She's had a big role to play in advancing and underwriting our investments in solar panels. It takes someone to say, yes, I will continue to contribute to that and allow us to pay off Fundación Eki over 30 years, right? We hope you live for a very long time, Raphael.
Now they're doing it over, Hamida, now they're doing it over 10 years because they thought 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mortgage on a house, and a solar panel system is not like a house.
Yeah.
It has a shelf life. We need to know about that. Any other comments, questions?
I just want to say something about Foundation Eki, is that one thing that they do that is very good is that they monitor the system.
Yeah, they monitor from Spain.
From Spain.
Yeah, I know that.
So they can solve problems from a distance.
That's right.
Which is absolutely wonderful. And this is for the whole time of the lease that we have.
And also they come to Congo frequently, so if they have to fix up something there, they will come and do it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments? How can I be involved with this? Anybody feeling feeling great joy at being involved with this?
I have another question, and it's just about the sort of the CEDERI members in Congo. How involved are they in a sort of general way with the health and learning center projects that Susila Dharma has been running there now for over a decade? Is there a good involvement, a sense of participation in them?
There is a good involvement. I think that is the beauty of what makes the magic of Susila Dharma Congo. Diantessa, tu vas élaborer sur ça, but there are, for example, 3 young doctors, children of Subud members who are also Subud members, working in the clinics. So one in Kandu Clinic, we have a Subud doctor. We have a young Noor Kinzunga, who's just finishing his medical studies, who's going to do his practice at Kwilu Ngongo. And we have another young Georgin, the son of Séraphin. So we have actually helped a lot of these young doctors finish their studies. I have personally, out of my pocket, given them money because it's so costly there. But we need young professionals like this. We have the 2 young people I showed you on our team who are done environmental studies, and we're getting them involved. Régine, who's the daughter of the first international helper from the Congo, Angélique. Régine is now the director of the Community Learning Center. And Addie, who's another helper in the group, is a chemist, and she's teaching chemical transformation. So as much as we are able, and there are work available, this is very complementary, is using the skills of Subud members, giving them jobs, but also enriching their contribution to Susila Dharma projects. They need work and we need them. So this is, when I say this is, all of us are involved, I mean literally all of us. All of Subud, is involved.
And the chairperson, Bernard, he is a painter. He mixing the colors and painting all the health centers and CSC centers and doing it in a very, very good way. Yes, and he has also a little bit profit of this. And so,
yeah, he's doing it in an okay way. He does it so that we have to keep painting every 2 years. That's called enterprise. It's very enterprising of him. Reynard.
Hello.
Yes, hi. Thank you for the terrific presentation. Very, very inspiring. I'm interested in the entrepreneurial program that is being taught to the young women, how to teach them to become self-sufficient. My questions are, who's doing the training? Who's teaching these young women? And can that program be documented and translated and given to Susila Dharma organizations in other parts of the world, so something similar can be done for local people in communities where there are no jobs, where people still need to earn a living? Because that, teaching someone how to start a little business and feed themselves and their families, that's the best type of development.
Absolutely. So this is a challenge, Reynard. When we started the community learning centers, we have a partner who is mainly a partner on microfinance, and they're called PADERU, and they give the entrepreneurship training, which has to do with different aspects of marketing and managing your savings, managing credit, and other things. It's a basic training. But along the way, and we showed a picture of a fair where our teacher, actually the Subud member, Adi, who is the chemist, worked very hard so that we would get a booth to display a major window. And that fair was put on by, Diantessa was mentioning it, ANADEC. My connection is unstable. ANADEC. Rachid, tu peux fermer le micro-ondes, s'il te plaît? Rachid, yes. Tu peux fermer? Thank you. It affects my connection. So ANADEC is working with money from the World Bank exactly to do what we want to do, which is to stimulate local production and marketing. And they have much more resources than we do. So we're creating a partnership with ANADEC to come to our centers and deliver their training on packaging, on distribution. And we will share this as we develop, but it's just like what I can say in this work is when we know what we need, the partner arrives, the person arrives, the knowledge arrives. So we could not have foreseen this partnership, but this is really important for the women for the next step, because ANADEC
Hola.
can take them to the next level.
Yeah, but do you think ANADEC could also maybe one day partner up with the Kooperasi in Rungansari that Paksateja has started, which now has 87 members?
ANADEC is a Congolese organization who's been given the mandate to help producers bring their products to market. So we're excited about that. I don't know about a future collaboration with Indonesia, although I'm sure there are complementarities. I think that when we were speaking with the cooperative in Rungansari, they were saying there are producers cooperatives, there's consumer cooperatives, different types. We're interested in the Congo right now in the way that the women can cooperate as producers to lower costs and bring products to market.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have a short question. What is the status of Congolese from Susila Dharma to go into the World Congress to Rungansari and Kalimantan, Palankaraya? I know a little bit, but it's very difficult for them to get a visa and yes, and to find the money for the travel.
So thank you to SD Canada for contributing $6,000. Thank you to SD Germany for contributing €1,500 for the travel of the Susila Dharma members. This is not the national committee. It's Susila Dharma people, Papi, Diantesa, Eluel, to come to Congress. Now what we need help with from the WSA is help getting the visa, because there is no Indonesian consulate in Kinshasa. So we're hoping that we can work with WSC to facilitate them getting the visa, because that's the main obstacle for Congolese who wish to travel. But we're working on it, Victor, and thanks to all of those who contributed to that fund to help them get to Congress.
It will be good to meet them directly, face by face.
Yes. When Reynard is there, he'll introduce them to the cooperative in Rungansari.
Not sure if I'll be there.
You're gonna be there. I know you are. We need you, Reynard. We need you. Any other questions before we end now with a little calm moment? Mariam, can you help us out here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this wonderful meeting, presentation, and of course, it's inspiring. Thank you so much. And thanks to Almighty God that all those things had been possible. And let's have a moment of quiet and close the session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. Share the joy, guys, in your daily lives. Thank you so much. We love you, and thank you for coming to this. Merci, Diantesa. Thank you to our interpreters. Thank you to Margarita, who set this call up with Isidro. Thank you to all of you for being with us. Thank you so much. Bless you.
Merci. Moi, je veux dire mon admiration pour l'équipe du Congo et Diane
Yes,
Tessa et Papi et tous. Vous êtes merveilleux.
We love you guys very much. Thank you, Diantesa and team.
Merci beaucoup, Raphaël.
Merci, 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 merci,
Merci.
Sylvie.
Thank you, Hamida.
Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.
Merci, Marguerite, for your organization.
Bye.